Alright everyone, welcome back. I am FiddlinJonny and this is my fiddle channel, but it's mostly a magic product review channel. And dang, is this a fun one today? I know everyone out there loves their Peak wallets and Peak devices, and they tend to cost an awful lot of money, but this one might be something that is practical, efficient, and affordable, and maybe it's right for you, depending on what style of magic that you're doing or mentalism that you're doing. Anyway, it's the Peak Deck by Eddie Raymond. Stick around and find out more about this product. Hello everyone, so glad that you are here. All right, let's just get into it. Every now and then, something comes along that sort of bucks a trend and isn't bucking a trend all at the same time. This really is the year of the Peak device. We've got The Wallet by Nicholas Lawrence and Abstract Effects. We've got Shadow Wallet by the 1914. We've got new release of the Thought Transmitter Pro V3 or something, V27. And we've got Insider by Mark Oberon, which I really like. So there is no shortage of Peak devices. Do we need another Peak device? It depends. And it depends on you and your character and your style and sort of what works best for you, more formal, informal, that sort of thing. At any rate, so this is something to add to the arsenal. And when I say buck the trend, it's not bucking the trend because of that it's another Peak device. It's bucking the trend because I love that this is a self-release by Eddie Raymond. Now Eddie Raymond decided not to go through like Murphy's Magic or Penguin or Vanishing Ink or any of the other big sort of retailers and producers and stuff, and decided to do it on his own. And because of that, he has created a release that is way affordable. As much as I love the fancy boxes like this, it has the gold inlay, it's got the magnetic clasps on it, it looks great up on my shelf sort of thing. What I care about, does it perform in the field when I'm working? Because I'm not bringing this box with me to performances, I'm bringing my device. And I'm not knocking the Shadow Wallet there. It's just sort of talking about how we're marketed to these days and pricing and all that sort of stuff. Eddie has no fancy trailer for this. He has no trailer for it. He has, that I'm aware of. He has no video tutorial. You're going to get this. And before we get into it, if you don't know what a Peak device is, let me tell you what a Peak device is and we'll go from there. So a Peak device allows you to have your spectator write down information and you to be able to then know secretly what that information is without your spectator knowing. And then you choose how you want to reveal that information. And I think this is where the performer in you can really shine and create the right dynamic and moment that you desire based upon the fact that you have secretly been able to peek the information. And in this Peak deck, what Eddie has done is that he has created a tuck case and a deck of cards that essentially looks normal but is gapped so that you can get a peek. All right, so that's what it is. It's old school. Let's talk a little bit about what you're going to get. I know you're waiting for the fancy clasp and gold inlay. No, it's not mocking here. It's just having fun. You're going to get this wonderful Ziploc sandwich bag and where you're going to get everything that you're going to get. I like it because it's straight and to the point. Now you're going to get the fancy sort of label that you get on there printed out. It looks like from a home printer and in 3 color, yellow, red, and black. Woohoo! For the Peak deck. You're then going to get ad copy printed out, and I like that it's economical and that it's saving paper and you don't have to get a great big giant sheet of paper. You're also going to get this right here. This here is 2 pages of instructions, setup, and everything you need to be able to perform with the new Peak deck. There's no video tutorial. This is it right here. And it's 3 color. And even though it might sound like I'm mocking it, I actually quite like it because it does its job, does its efficiently, and I can take it from there. But of course, I think we all care about the device itself. It's going to come in this nice bag here. You're also going to get from the playingcarddecks.com company. Eddie has included a little plastic carrying case, which I think is actually nice because you want to protect your gimmick. And he has provided the protection for your gimmick here. You could even bring it into play if you wanted to. You don't have to, but if you wanted to, you could. And then this here is your gimmick right here. You're able to get your peak right from this deck right here. So that's what you're gonna get when it arrives in the mail for you. All right. Oh, I forgot to mention there is also, oh, now I can't see it. There is a bag of, oh, here it is, it fell. Your Eddie has done this great job, and he is going to give you some invisible thread, which I really, really appreciate that's included. So thank you, Eddie, for that. I don't know if everyone gets invisible thread, but I know that on his webpage it indicates that for now. So thank you. I always, for folks who watch, you know I love invisible threads, elastics, that sort of stuff to work with. All right, so how are the instructions? Well, the instructions are on this printed sheet of paper. And the truth is once you open up the device or your gimmick and you look at it, you can pretty quickly understand how it works. The instructions will give you the setup because you will need to set it up. It'll run you through a routine, and I think the routine's actually fine, and you can sort of riff from there in terms of how you want to structure your actual routine with it. So that's the instructions. You're not going to get, this is the sort of thing, like, it's so simple and so straightforward that it really does allow you to focus on how do you want to build a performance around the fact that you have secretly got somebody's information that they've written down without them knowing that you know it. So that gives you a lot of latitude to create a really great routine. So now I would go back to like the examples of the Shadow Wallet and Insider by Mark Oberon. Boy, did the tutorials on these do an awesome job with just a lot of ideas and a lot of riffing on how to build a performance around the fact that you've peaked information. If you have either of those, you're getting awesome tutorials around those. But how often are you really using your peak wallet? How often are you actually carrying around these note cards with you to do that? If you're a magician, you probably are carrying around a pack of cards, and this might be more practical for you in that respect. Or it may not, but sort of what I'm wanting you to think about, if this might be a more practical and straightforward peak device for you. All right, so talked about the instructions, mentioned in terms of there's literally no sort of video, so if you want to learn some great performances, maybe you get some of those other products for the performance end, or you get the performances from those other products but utilize this deck to be able to get your peak. All right, let's talk about the Gimmick. The Gimmick is simple, elegant, and it's just clever. And the truth is, I wish I had thought of it. It's not groundbreaking here, in that this method of peaking is by no stretch new at all. It's just that I think Eddie has taken the time that he is a magician who's been performing for the last 30 years, and he created this peak device because he wanted to be able to perform utilizing his tuck case in order to be able to do that. He's done it. He's inserted it into his own repertoire. It's something that he created for himself. It's not something where there was a creator out there who doesn't perform and wanted to release it to the community, and then people in the community are sort of left to figure out whether this is useful for them or not. This is really coming from a performer with years, decades of experience, and created something for himself and now has released it to the community. I really do think that's different in terms of quality, quite honestly, and it's something when I look at and in considering a product, I just think those elements, generally speaking, lead towards a more solid product. All right. There's no earth-shattering technology in here. There's no Bluetooth. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no magnets. It is simply analog. And that, in my opinion, is great for this. You don't have to worry about anything breaking down. So let's get a little bit into this in terms of if we're looking at this tuck case, and the tuck case here is a gimmicked tuck case, all right? Because it's a gimmicked tuck case, and I want to talk about how is the gimmick, it does the job that it needs to. It will eventually break down like any tuck case. It's just natural wear and tear will happen, and that's sort of what will be the end of it. It is so simple once you see, you could make it yourself. Although there's no instructions on how to make it yourself, it's not rocket surgery here in terms of how to rebuild it yourself. Eddie, I'm going to go back to, has done a nice job here, is that he's made a choice about using your, I would call it the old school Red Ryder back ones, tuck cases. The newer ones have the ad copy on the fronts and the sides and stuff. Using this older version is better. I thought I would go look at my own tuck cases, the newer releases, and see if I couldn't just create one myself. And while I think I could, I think there's an advantage to this one, to the old school style. But it'll last as long as a tuck case lasts, and that's why I think it's nice to have this little black carrying case here to keep it protected and safe. It does have gimmicked cards in the inside, and there are 40 gimmicked cards in there. And the 40 gimmicked cards, quite honestly, should never wear out. And if you did, you could just remake them yourself, because you'll see how they're gimmicked, and you can figure out how to recreate it if you needed to. All right. There's also one other unique gimmick that I'm not going to talk about in here, but it's standard and simple and something all of you might already have, and you could recreate it if it ever wore out and do that yourself. The one thing that's not included, the truth is, when you're doing this, you are going to have your spectator right on the back of a regular playing card and insert it back into the tuck case with the remainder of the cards. That card's destroyed, so you'll have to replace a card every single time from a regular deck into your deck. So something to think about if you don't like destroying cards, then probably not for you. Could you use business cards? Yeah, of course you could have them write a business card and insert it in there. Seems that might be a little bit weird to me. I think for me what ideal would be blank-faced playing cards for this routine, because for me that makes sense. I can have them sign blank-faced playing card. I'm not destroying a regular deck, and could go from there. It might give me some sort of pattern around how they print these cards that are blank-faced. So let's talk a little bit about the skill level. It's beginner skill level. Anybody can do this. I really think it's up to you as a performer to create those magical and powerful moments when you use a peak device. There's no sleight of hand here at all, so you can really focus in on your performance. So I always talk about the pros, and what are the pros? It is at a price point that you simply can't beat. If this had been released through the major Magic producers and stuff, it would probably be at least retailed for $40, because it's a handmade gimmick by Eddie Raymond himself. So releasing it himself without all the fancy bells and whistles makes it really affordable for you. Let's see. I talked about that it's been developed by a professional who uses it for his own set and created for himself. I think that's really positive. I think this is a great mind reading effect anytime that you're using a peak device. It's easy to carry around if you're a magician. You carry a deck of cards, you can carry this around with you. It's got a 3-second reset on it. There's no slides, as I said earlier. Easy to learn, handmade, and Eddie's customer service is really, really good and really quick and responsive. Downside, let's talk about the cons. It's kind of a two-trick pony. I've been only talking about the feature of it as a peak device, but you can also do a rising card from this. For me, personally, I'm not sure I would follow my mentalism with a rising card with the same deck, but it has the capability to do a rising card from deck routine with it as well. Con is you'll need to carry an extra deck of cards because you'll want to switch out and do tricks probably with a regular packet of cards. If you wanted to, here's one of my negatives for it. If you like to do drawing duplication, I think one of the powerful things at the end of doing a drawing duplication is that you hold up the original and you hold up the one that you as the performer has done to show how closely they are that they match. If you want to retrieve the one that's been put into the tuck box, you're going to have it in your pocket and retrieve it from your pocket. Not impossible to do. I practiced it a bit, but I felt like I was a bit fumbly with it, and I'm not sure that in real performance how smooth I could make that look. Not impossible. The baggier my trousers are, the easier it is to do, or if I have a jacket pocket where it's easy to fumble in my jacket pockets, I can do it. So that's a little bit of a downside in terms of the retrieval of the card. You could do it, but it does take a little bit of practice. All right, that's it. Who's going to like this? I think if you're a card magician and you want to dabble in mentalism, great. It's awesome for that. Any sort of close-up work or walk around, I think this is great and easy to do for you as well. If you're the casual mentalist, as I think about it, this is great for the casual mentalist. And what's a casual mentalist? I think a lot of mentalists get really hoity-toity about their mentalism and whatnot. If you go to the Magic Cafe, you see folks in there very hoity-toity mentalist about, pens and pads and stuff, and dismissive of using a deck to use as a peak device. I just disagree with them. I think this is a great way as a casual mentalist to do a mentalism effect. All right, let's talk about the price. In the United States, it's $28. I think it's a great price point, as I said earlier. I think it's only available at Eddie's website, which is eddiraymond.com. I'll put it in the description or up here somewhere to go check it out and see other products that he has at his page. He has some elastic bands that I'm using and playing around with to see how those work as well, and some invisible thread or elastic threads as well. So go check those out. And I think those are the things that I hope are helpful for you if you're looking at or considering this product or putting it on your radar screen. So leave a comment down below if you're using a peak device or a peak wallet that you got that maybe you never use and you're looking for a different peak device, or what peak devices you do like to use. Or if you purchased this, what you thought about it, so it can help other people who are watching this review and considering it. All right, thanks everybody. Make sure that you like and subscribe. It'd be great if you subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. All right, everyone take care of yourself. I'm FiddlinJonny, and remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye-bye.